So as far as miners go, I think for the most part they will stay kind of like they are. There will be some little changes as far as the material the chips are made of, the power efficiency, things like that. But what I really see coming up is that now that Bitcoin is at 100K or right near it, it'll hit it soon. Um, you are having people that weren't interested before now being interested in saying, okay, this is a real thing. It's not just an imaginary coin. So I think, with the miners being so power hungry, now you have things like the BitAxe and like Jose has the stealth miner that came out. It's pretty cool. I think you're going to have a lot of home miners, like people wanting to earn Bitcoin while heating their house, running a miner in their basement, whatever. So I think that's going to start to be a big thing.
Welcome to the Bitcoin Source, your go-to podcast for everything Bitcoin. I'm Dadu, your host for today's thought-provoking session, and we're diving into the world of Bitcoin mining with someone who is making waves in the industry. Joining us is April Duckett, the head of repair at MinerSet, where she innovates repair strategies to ensure mining operations run smoothly. She's also the founder of ASIC Alchemist Repair, a business specializing in ASIC repairs. April, welcome to the Bitcoin Source. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
So, April, let's start at the beginning. You've built a remarkable career in Bitcoin mining and repair, but what first drew you to Bitcoin? Was there a defining moment or experience that sparked your interest in the space?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my journey into Bitcoin started in 2020 at the very end, and I was a low voltage cable technician. And I got a contract working at a local mining facility. So going in, it was really loud, really cold, a lot of machines going everywhere. I'm like, what is this place? And when I found out, these are Bitcoin miners, these are making money, I'm like, is this legal? But yeah, that was my first introduction to Bitcoin.
So, once you discovered Bitcoin, was it an instant passion or did it take time and challenges to find your stride in the industry?
So yeah, it was definitely intriguing. I've always liked learning new things, and I started to study about it, going home, looking up what an amp miner was. So yeah, it definitely was appealing.
Yes, yes. I want to kind of get into MinerSet a bit. So, your role at MinerSet is pivotal, but also you founded another company called ASIC Alchemist Repair. Can you share your balance between these two ventures and what inspired you to specialize in ASIC repair services?
So once my contract for low voltage ended at the mining facility, I was approached by my sister-in-law and her mom, Karen, about getting a job at a repair facility that they were starting. And they're like, we're going to be fixing the Bitcoin miners, that you've been around. And I'm like, I don't know anything about that. And they thought that I would be a good candidate for the position because of in the past I was a amateur tattoo artist. So I had a really steady hand. And yeah, so they started a Dalton ASIC repair, and I started there doing like customer service basically. I knew nothing about repair, nothing about anything. So just I started doing research online, and back then there were no like repair manuals online. Everything was in Chinese, what I did find. So I would go on Google translate everything out, and it still was like a foreign language to me. I was like, what does this even mean? But yeah, I grew into it and eventually became an ASIC repair technician, and then went to operations manager for Dalton ASIC. So pretty much played every role possible at that business. And MinerSet was one of our clients. So whenever Dalton had went out of business, MinerSet had approached me about being a site technician there. And I only knew really the repair part of Bitcoin mining at this point. never worked in a mine other than doing the cables. So, yeah, I accepted the position and it's grown from there.
For the listeners who may not know, can you explain the importance of on site repairs and how it impacts the efficiency of Bitcoin mining operations?
Yeah, absolutely. So, having on-site repairs, it plays a role in your uptime for sure. So, you're not spending money to ship your miners to another facility. You're not having to wait 4 to 6 weeks for those miners to come back. It's pretty much instant unless it's, ASIC repairs do take a lot longer. But then you have somebody that also has the knowledge of like what kind of maintenance strategy, so that we can keep these miners up and running and we're not having to, lose uptime.
Yeah. I interviewed Neil Galloway, who is kind of like an OG in the mining space. During that conversation, I learned so much about mining in like that 30-minute section that, I've been in Bitcoin for a while, but I'm now getting into mining. Like Jose was like, oh, I need you to come down to Texas and I want you to do one of my classes. April's kind of helping to run it. And I was like, yeah, definitely I'll come down and learn how to tinker on an ASIC. But I just recently got a BitAxe, a Gamma. It runs like, I don't know, 1.2 terahash or something. It's like a tiny little thing. And I'm just like learning the ropes of like shares and, keeping the fan cool and just like all these different things that I'm sure you're well versed in. But I think that mining is something super, super cool. And I definitely wanted to talk to you because you don't see a lot of women in this space, right? Like when you think of mining, you think of Texas, you think of men, and you just think of, people complaining about the energy consumption. So when I kind of did a little research on you, April, I was like, oh my God, I have to talk to this lady because she's like a gem in the space because there's going to be so many women, young girls out there that are going to be inspired by this conversation. So I just wanted to thank you early, like, thank you for this conversation. And I'm looking forward to how this is going to impact and influence women as mining becomes a bigger thing as time goes on.
Yeah, definitely. There aren't many women in the space, but it's starting to grow. Like I'm starting to see more and more. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
So April, go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
There's like a little lag there, so I'll edit that out. But I wanted to ask you, like, what strategies or innovations have you implemented to streamline the repair process and minimize downtime? Because I know you said that ASICs take kind of longer for repairs to happen. So, like, did you kind of streamline it any way to make that more efficient for you?
So, kind of bringing the processes from Dalton ASIC that we made. It's just all about, initially you want to consolidate, get everything up that you can, and then it's not just me and the repair center at MinerSet. So I have a little help with that. Like my teammate, he mainly focuses on diagnosis consolidation, and then I'm in there with hashboards. And, if I'm working on a board that takes, more than 3 hours, I'm going to move on, just get the quick repairs first, save the longest ones for last.
In such a competitive industry, right? Like, there's tons of mining companies out there. MinerSet caught my eye because it was something I never heard about. It's small, it's kind of like, quality over quantity, in my opinion. So, what sets MinerSet apart from other companies offering repair and maintenance services? Is there like a mining operation that you trust your team with that have like critical equipment that no one else has? Is it like one of those things where you guys keep your team small because you want to have a quality person maintaining these boards and maintaining these chips, or are you guys looking to expand this into something bigger like a marathon or riot or something down the road?
So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Since being at MinerSet, I started my business, ASIC Alchemist. One, because I had a lot of local clients that were approaching me to do ASIC repairs on the side. So, I didn't want to entangle my personal finances with, something from a business. So I just started the LLC just for legal reasons, basically. Kind of grown. So MinerSet, they've been like, how is this new business going to affect your position at MinerSet? And I'm like, it doesn't. Like, I get a lot less sleep than I did before because I'm working a lot more hours. So we've actually been in the talks of doing a joint venture for MinerSet and myself, and just doing a repair center, a bigger repair center. And then they are looking to expand out as far as how much hash rate they have and things like that. So we're looking into other sites. So
This episode is brought to you by Unbank, your go-to Bitcoin exchange with a network of over 28,000 Bitcoin ATMs across the US. Unbank makes Bitcoin simple and accessible. With trusted locations like CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, and Costco, buy Bitcoin with cash with no KYC required. Just your name, phone number, and email. Get cash instantly at an ATM or transfer to Venmo, PayPal, or your debit card with no wait time. And as a non-custodial exchange, Unbank never holds your money, unlike Coinbase, Swan, or Stripe. Independently owned since 2014, Unbank is the most trusted name in the game. And this new year, they're giving back. Enter to win $200 in Bitcoin by downloading the Unbank app and signing up at unbank.com/Bitcoin source. Click the link under thanks to our sponsors for more details. But hurry, this raffle ends February 28th. Don't miss the chance to snag free sats. Unbank your life.
yeah, we're hoping to get big.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you. The mining industry is extremely competitive and it's evolving very rapidly. From debates about energy consumption to regulatory challenges, how do you view the current state of Bitcoin mining and what trends should miners and industry leaders focus on?
So right now, since the halving, it's really about being as strategic as possible and as efficient as possible. So like knowing your infrastructure and, making sure to keep miners cool and the sorry, I can't talk. Airflow at the right CFMs, like it's starting to become super competitive. So definitely maintenance, efficiency, aftermarket firmware, those are definitely good things to keep in your tool bag as a miner, knowing your power prices and things like that. But it takes a team, it takes a dedicated team to make that facility function like a well-oiled machine. And it's hard to find really like-minded people that take pride in their work and that have the same end goal as you do. Like most people will just work for a paycheck. They're not, trying to make something better.
I think
Right.
it's a Bitcoiner kind of thing. Like a lot of people thought I was crazy. Like right now the price is almost 100. So I'm getting the texts, I'm getting the phone calls, but like for a good 3-4 years, people are like, God was crazy. Like all he talks about is Bitcoin. All he talks about is the halving's coming. You better hurry up. It's down to 3 Bitcoin. It's 6 Bitcoin right now. Like you better make your moves. It's like insane now that like it's almost hitting this precipice of 100,000, and all of a sudden everybody gets Bitcoin now. They want to know all about mining. They didn't care 6 months ago. I'm sure you feel that kind of same sentiment. But what do you think is like the next big development in mining? Do you think it's going to be something that you guys and gals have never seen before, or do you think it's going to be something that you're building on top of that you already have implemented and you're just going to make it more efficient?
So as far as miners go, I think for the most part, they will stay kind of like they are. There will be some little changes as far as, the material the chips are made of, the power efficiency, things like that. But what I really see coming up is that now that Bitcoin is at 100K or right near it, it'll hit it soon. You are having people that weren't interested before now being interested in saying, okay, this is a real thing. It's not just an imaginary coin or, so I think, with the miners being so power hungry, now you have things like the bid axe and like Jose has the stealth miner that came out. It's pretty cool. I think you're going to have a lot of home miners, like people wanting to earn Bitcoin while heating their house, running a miner in their basement, whatever. So I think that's going to start to be a big thing.
Yeah, and shout out to Jose. I need one of those miners, bro. Just tell me how much they cost. I definitely want one of those.
They're
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So As a female entrepreneur in the tech and Bitcoin mining world, you've carved a unique path in this male dominated field, and I commend you for that. What has your experience been like, and what advice would you give to a woman looking to break into this arena or this industry?
So, I haven't really had any, I don't know, humps to climb over when it comes to being a female. I think if you are a female and you want to get in this industry, this is like the Bitcoin industry is, we have so many different types of people, and like I love it. Like we have every kind of person that you can imagine, high school dropouts, prisoners, ex-prisoners, because we're starting the Bitcoin transformation training with Justin. Like we've been in on that, and like it's if you're a girl and you want to get in it, just read some books. I mean, yeah, just do some research as far as go on Google, search up Bitcoin mining, and just start reading. And if you're passionate, you'll make it.
Most definitely. What was the most surprising or unexpected lesson you've learned since you've been on this journey in Bitcoin mining?
So coming from starting the repair thing first, not really knowing like infrastructure and things like that. I think that's not really been the most challenging, but it's been interesting to learn like little things like if you pull a machine out, plug the hole so that you don't get any backflow. Um, it's just that's been the most interesting part of it, just learning little things like that.
Nice, nice. That's something that I didn't even know about. So when you pull a machine, plug the hole. I'm sure people that mine or are interested in mining will probably take that advice very soundly. So thank you for that. I want to talk about Bitcoin's broader impact. So of course, Bitcoin represents more than just a digital currency. We have Trump in now. He's at least from what it looks like at this moment, very pro Bitcoin cryptocurrency mining, and hopefully that helps our industry kind of get bigger into 2025. How do you see Bitcoin transforming the global economy? So, like right now, we're seeing mining, the hash rate is high, the price is going up constantly. Do you see Bitcoin transforming the global economy, particularly in regions where access to financial systems is limited?
I do. So third world countries where there aren't banks or, banks are just, it's not feasible for the people living there or majority of the people. I think that Bitcoin is going to be financial freedom, like having family that lives in other countries, being able to transfer the money without having to pay ungodly fees you know, and you're in control of your money. Like that's nobody can take it from you and nobody can say what you do with it and things like that. So yeah, I think it will definitely be beneficial for the global economy.
So let's talk a little bit about tech. As someone who works with mining hardware daily, what's one piece of mining technology or innovation that you're particularly excited about right now?
So, like I mentioned earlier, the bid axe. Like I'm starting to see other repair facilities, well, training facilities now build those out. So I'm like, man, I want to do that. It looks so cool. That's the next big thing, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a big fan of BitAxe. Nerd Q or Nerd Axe, I believe, is like the new one that they have out. It's like really tiny, but it's kicking out like 2.5 terahash. So that's pretty cool. I think that it'd be dope to get it to a point where it's low consumption of energy, but you can at least make like a little profit every day, even if it's like 10 Satoshis. But I don't think they've gotten there yet. You still got to get the big boy miners. But yeah, I'm excited for BitAss as well. And I think that as we get into 2025, we get into 2026, I think that we're going to see some crazy things coming out that's going to be for home miners. And I'm just excited to see what the mining industry is going to do. I think it's the mining industry's time right now. Like before, it was a lot of like Elizabeth Warren hate, environmental hate. Oh, it's too much energy during the summers, Texas. they have to shut the grid off for the miners. Like there was this whole like run on the mining industry, and I think now with Trump being in and with people realizing that it doesn't consume as much energy as you think it does, we're going to have a lot of different changes in the space coming up.
I agree. I definitely agree.
So, Ava, what are some underrated tools or tech, miners that you should people should pay more attention to outside of like BitAx? Like, is there like I'm trying to see how I can explain this. Like, is there a way for people to optimize their operations if they want to not even necessarily just like plug it into their house, but let's say like they have an old shed in their yard, they got solar panels on top of it. Like, what would be your go-to miner for that? Would it be an ASIC? Would it be an ant miner? Like, I want to hear your thoughts on that.
So firmware will be your best friend. As far as optimizing, my personal favorite is the niche. You can actually go in and you can like fine tune each chip on the board. So if one chip is not performing as well as the other one, tune them all. And I mean, it's really like that. That's a big part of efficiency. If I were gonna do mining, I mean, if your power prices are good, like mine here at home are 15 cents per kilowatt hour, so it's not too mine friendly, which, I still have to stress test things. So yeah, firmware. Do some
Nice.
firmwares.
I'm kind of hating on you, April, because mine's is 26 cents. So I
No
don't have any.
way.
Yeah, 26 cents, which is crazy, right? So when you're not revolutionizing the Bitcoin mining industry, like what are some hobbies or interests that help you recharge? Like I know you mentioned that you used to do tattoos. Like, do you plan on doing like Bitcoin tattoos in the next 5 years when it gets really popular?
That is a good idea. That's a really good idea. So yeah, I still tattoo on the side actually, but I never thought about doing the Bitcoin thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, you'll
Um,
probably have a market for that.
for sure. That'd be great. But yeah, like I really don't ever have time or don't take time. I could, have all the time in the world, but I don't take time. Like working is my thing. Like if I'm not working, then I'm thinking about working. But outside of that, like I spend time with my family and I try to, as an entrepreneur, like that's a big thing. Like I don't know when to tell myself to stop. So I have to, my husband will be like, "Are you coming inside? Are you coming inside? Are you gonna be out there?" So yeah, spending time with my family is the only other thing I do besides work.
Nice. And I have to ask you this because we're both parents. So like, how do you find balance between your professional and personal life? Like, what keeps you grounded? Is it your kids? Like, but what is the thing that's like, okay, I know I have to help build this board today, but my daughter also wants to go to the park. Like, how do you get that middle ground to say, okay, I'm gonna help out my kid today instead of changing the world with Bitcoin for a second?
I have to like set an alarm on my phone or on the weekends the kids will come out here with me and our littlest one, she'll be 5 in January and she'll come out here and be like, "Can you come watch a movie with me?" And just, of course, yeah, I will. So yeah, they have to remind me sometimes, but I have an alarm, stop working, go spend time with the family, and that's really the only way that I can make myself take a break.
Nice. And for those aspiring to enter Bitcoin mining or innovate like you have, what's the most important piece of advice you'd share with them?
This is a tough question. The most important piece of advice that I've shared with people that are looking to get into Bitcoin would be get into it. Like I've tried talking my mom into buying some miners and like I would love to hire her to come work for me. Like I want her to learn the things that I know because she kind of shows little interest in it, but I don't know.
It's
Can
still
we
it's
edit
still
this?
no, it's gonna be edited for sure. Like what
I'm so
and I'll I'll send you, like, when I edit it, I will send you how it looks like the finalized. Like, you got to watch some of my episodes. Like, I don't know if you've watched any of them, but when we're done with this recording, I'll send you like the link to my website, and just watch a few of them. And, like, by the way, you're doing great. There's people that were just so nervous. People would stop in the middle, like have like mental breakdowns, and like I just make it work because I understand that, like, talking about Bitcoin, talking about the mining process, it's easy when you're just doing it, but to actually like articulate it to an audience or to people that would possibly see it, it can be kind of nerve wracking. I just make it look good because I've been doing this podcast for almost 3 years, so it's just natural for me. But this is like one of your first interviews on a bigger platform, so I fully understand. Like, don't worry, you're not. It doesn't look crazy, and I'm gonna make sure you look good on it. So just continue.
Thank you. Okay. So,
And I only got one more question too, so I don't. If you have any other on that question, I'll ask you one more, and then we can wrap it up.
oh yeah, I'm good on that, I think. I don't know if I answered it right though.
Yeah, so I'll tell you the question one more time. The
Hmm.
question was, for those aspiring to enter the Bitcoin mining or to innovate like you have in this space, what would be the most important piece of advice you would share with them?
The most important piece of advice that I would share would be just to study. Reach out to me if you want to get into it. I'll help you. I will help you. I can train. People are all the time telling me, don't give away these secrets, don't give away these secrets. But I like to share. I like to share knowledge. Knowledge is power. So yeah, just reach out to me or do some research online. Read. That's that's important.
Yes, reading is fundamental, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, April, and you kind of touched on this a little bit with the joint venture you're having, but what's next for MinerSet and your company, ASIC Alchemist Repair? Can you share any upcoming projects or developments we should look out for in the next few years?
So with MinerSet, the repair center, also expansion of their sites, and then working with Jose, LFG Mining, and Justin with Bitcoin transformation. We're doing training. Went out to Texas a few weeks back to do a training class, my first ever. I loved it. And yeah, we're gonna work on doing that. Um, Other than that, like that's it.
Nice, nice. April, it's been a pleasure to have you on. That training is actually what caught my attention. So you never know where your trainings will take you in the future. The work that you've been doing is critical to the Bitcoin ecosystem, and your insights are invaluable. Thank you for sharing your journey and expertise with our audience today. I truly, truly appreciate it. I don't know if there's any social media handles or your business website that you want to plug in. Feel free to do so now.
So you can get me on Telegram at ASIC Alchemist Repair LLC. My website is www.asicalchemist.com, and support at asicalchemist.com is the email for that.
To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Bitcoin Source. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us for the rest and latest of the Bitcoin news and insights from thought leaders such as April here. Until next time, keep exploring, innovating, and pushing the boundaries of Bitcoin. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.